Hi, welcome to Discussing Fitchburg Now. Thank you for tuning in. This week's show, we're talking about the 58th annual Longsjo Classic, which is happening right in our downtown Fitchburg, right on Sunday, July 7th. We'll see you there. And we're going to start with a little promo video of an interview with Leslie Lupian, produced by our own Matt Carroll and Nicole Gaffney. And then we'll be back to discuss this year's Longsjo Classic happenings with race director Reese Brown and rider Ted Horwitz. So we'll see you in a couple minutes.
My name is Leslie Lupian. I've been riding for about 9 years now, racing for about 8. Played basketball through college, and I think that I first picked up a bike more seriously because of a charity ride. So there's this ride called the Angel Ride in Connecticut that goes all the way across Connecticut, and so I got a bike to just start training for that. Fast forward, I fell in love with cycling, getting out there and adventuring on my bike. Hit those photos and kind of laugh at myself on flat pedals, like with a tilted helmet, you know, just kind of raggedy out of the gate, but I was stoked, you know, I loved it. And once I got serious with racing, you know, I started to dial in all of the details. All of a sudden I got a better bike and got fit to my bike and moved up through the ranks from category 4 to 3 to 2, and now I'm a 1. And I went from, you know, maybe racing a couple of races to really getting bit by the bug and going out for everything locally to now trying to go out and do more in regional or national races. I've been riding in the Longsjo Classic for about 5 years now. Being new to the Longsjo Classic, I'm sure that I was taken by the course and by the scene of it, the fans that come out. I think that as a newbie, I was mostly just trying to survive, to stay part of the field, and that was the goal for me at the time. Whether you've seen cycling before or you haven't, whether you're a cyclist yourself or a racer, this is just a great event to come out and witness. The races tend to be pretty exciting, especially, I would think, the elite fields tend to be a little bit faster, and there's just a whole community event that takes place in Fitchburg at the time with the ducks. I always think of this big duck in the center of it. Of course, some food trucks, and then the restaurants all around. It's really a fun scene. There's a place for everyone in the sport. No matter what your goals are, they're valid. And so there's definitely a place for anyone who wants to just be a recreational cyclist, to go out, get fit, have fun commuting to work, or if you're more serious and you want to race and really push your limits, there's definitely a place for you. And I think there's a way to be involved and to have fun for everyone, no matter what your goals are. I've definitely crashed. I've had a couple of good ones or bad ones, as you can choose whichever way you want to phrase it. The thing that's brought me back is this idea that I haven't done everything that I could do yet. I haven't really fully realized all of my potential on the bike, and at least in races, right? So at home, I go out on my bike and I really push my limits as far as I can. But the unique thing about races is that sometimes other people can push you further than you ever thought you could. And so there are all of these other layers, what other people are doing in the race, and then also like the mental component of being ready and able to execute in the moment to get that elusive result that you've been chasing. And so that's what's really motivated me, is this idea that I haven't seen my best yet, and I really want to.
Hi, thanks for watching our show on the Longsjo Classic, the 58th annual this year, 2019. I have race director Reese Brown on with me right now, and rider Ted Horwitz. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Pleasure, for sure.
All right, so the Longsjo Classic this year, Sunday, July 7th, in Fitchburg only.
Yes.
We're cutting down to the roots.
Well, you know, the thought was, let's really get our house in order. And Fitchburg is the landmark event, you know, for the Longsjo, and it needs a little work. So we're here to really focus on Fitchburg and build this event back to what it has been in the past.
So we're going to see a similar race schedule, and what's going to change?
The race schedule will be the same, very similar to last year. We're going to key in on the pro races and the kids races, but we also are creating an expanded kids zone. We're going to have you know, one of those inflatable, not a bouncy house, but an obstacle course. We're creating a vendor experience on the Upper Common, and then at River Styx, we're creating an area down there for those that are looking for a kind of more beers and hanging out. There's going to be a tent down there. They're going to be open. We're going to have a band down there. And then, interestingly enough, Fitchburg, kind of in all of the things that they're doing to build Fitchburg, they're going to have an activation down there also. So it's going to be quite an interesting experience. And then, of course, the boulder will be open. So you got beers in two areas.
So as always, you know, we have the yearly race in and of itself. But what we're building is kind of more of a festival to go along with the race.
Well, yes, and we talked about changing the name to the Longsjo Classic Family Festival, because that's where we want to be. We want it to truly be a community event and a reason for people to be proud of Fitchburg and to come out on that day and come for the kids race, come watch the pro race, eat some ice cream, go to the food trucks, maybe have a beer, whatever they want to do, and then certainly hit the expo.
So we have the die-hard people that are into racing and that follow the race every year, that come to the Longsjo to watch the race, and then you've got the people that are like, love to drink beer and eat the food trucks and watch the race too. I don't really know what's going on, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it's super fun. And just to see those athletes go and to hear them and to feel the wind that they generate as they go by is truly amazing. But we're also going to have Art's brother here this year. Art's brother, as well as Dick Rings. So we've got some of the, you know, the real big names in you know, in the history of cycling.
Art Longsjo's brother.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yep. So it should be quite a scene.
And Dick Rings, is he going to be announcing?
He is not going to be announcing, but I'm sure
he's good. He knows every
I'm sure
rider.
Somehow he's going to get a microphone in his face at some point. So I'm pretty sure that will happen.
So who is going to be announcing this year?
We have Alan Cote.
Oh, Alan Cote is the best.
And then Lydia Hauser, who is a past racer. You probably know who she is. She is, I believe, retired from racing, and she's going to be announcing the entire New England Crit Week.
Oh, New England Crit Week.
Yep. So we're excited for both those people.
And so that's a whole nother thing. The Longsjo Classic is part of New England Crit Week, which is 3 races?
It's 3 races this year. It's a little toned down, but it does span both weekends of 4th of July weekend as well as a Tuesday night race.
What is it, Greenfield Crit?
It's Greenfield, Exeter, and here.
Exeter and Longsjo.
Yep.
Nice.
So it's great, and it's, you know, our goal is to build up the Crit Week also to a few more races and really bring in riders from around the country to come and spend the weekend, or the week, excuse me, in New England and you know, get 5 or 6 race starts.
Yep. It was sponsored by Verge, but this year it's being sponsored by CycleSmart.
CycleSmart is running it. Verge is doing the jerseys again this year.
Oh, we have New England Crit Week jerseys?
We got Crit Week jerseys. Well, and we will award the first ones at our race because we are the lead-off race this year.
The first race?
First race.
Oh, we are the first in the New England Crit Week?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, cool.
Oh, excuse me, it does not span 4th of July. I'm sorry. It goes the week after.
The week after?
Yep.
Are you doing New England Crit Week, Ted?
I am, yes.
All 3 races?
Oh, yes.
In ButcherBox cycling?
Yes.
As a team presence?
Yes, we are sending a men's and women's team to both pro races, and we're going to have a few amateur racers in the lower categories as well. We are really excited. Fitchburg, I mean, all these races, Fitchburg, Greenfield, and Exeter are kind of like home races for us. We have past winners of many of these races on our team, and we look forward to going at it again.
Anyone we'll recognize?
Sam Rosenholtz is a name that most people know.
Yeah, won in Leominster.
Yep. He won Leominster when that race was here. He is really eyeing the Exeter race this year, but Fitchburg is to win at Fitchburg is really special.
The gold standard.
I mean, it's the longest race of the three.
55?
58 years.
No, how many miles? 50 miles?
50 miles.
Sorry. Yep.
50 miles.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's also, I mean, yeah, the history of Fitchburg from when it was a stage race and the fact that it's still continuing now as a criterium and a festival is really, really a special thing. I remember being a junior rider and watching the 6-day stage race at the time.
Oh, wow.
And when they would ride up Mount Wachusett, it's a race that many famous riders have come to. So to be a part of this,
Armstrong.
Lance did do the race back in the day. So to have it, to still have it going on is a really amazing thing, and to win it is really special. We'll be trying to beat Curtis White. Will be the man to beat this year if he comes.
He's won before.
Yes, he has. Yes, Curtis, with the help of Ben Wolf last year, made it pretty tough. Or the year before, excuse me. But we'll be looking to unseat
What's
him.
his sister's name?
Emma.
Emma White's brother.
Yes.
Yes. That's how you need to introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Emma White's brother. So you're part of a team. There are some of the riders come individually in race, but a team presence is really the big key to cycling. Tell us about that.
Yes, so cycling, most people don't realize it's actually a team sport. A team has a large advantage over what they can do within a race. You can afford to send riders up the road from the field inside a race and try different things, and you'll always have somebody staying back in the peloton, the field, with fresh legs. So you get a big advantage with a team, and it's just a really fun way to do racing. You have a group of people that you travel around with and have a good time and share an amazing experience with.
So how many members are on your team on ButcherBox cycling?
We have about 10 men and roughly about 10 women.
All in different categories.
No, that's the pro field.
Oh, just the pro
teams.
field.
Yes, that's our cat one.
Because you have some lower categories too, you said.
We do. We have a few what we call development riders, people who we believe really have the ability over time to race at a top level. So we like to develop them and bring them up slowly, kind of teach them whatever we can and show them the ropes. And then someday, hopefully, they'll join the elite team and race with us in the pro races at Fitchburg.
So what category are your development riders?
We have categories 4, 3, and 2. We have, I think, one Cat 4. In fact, I think our only Cat 3 just recently became a 2. No, I'm sorry, we do have a Cat 3, and then we have 2 Cat 2s at the moment. So they're doing great. They're on their way up. And over time, learning a lot.
Yeah, because we have a 3-4 race, and then we have a 4-5 is the amateur, and then a 3-4.
Yeah, yes.
Right? And then the 1-2 is the pro.
That's right, yes, yeah. And the 3-4s are not that slow. They're not that slow.
But then you get the 1-2s up there, and you're like, whoa!
Yeah, we like to win. We like to go fast.
Ted brought up a really good point about the team, and I think this is where people look at bike racing. It's like, well, all they do is go around in a circle, and it doesn't appear to be that exciting. But really, there is a strategy within that group of people just going around in circles. And frequently, like a team like yours will be, the entire team, 5, 6, 7 riders will be riding for one person. So they've got one person who's designated as the one who's going to try and win the race. And the rest of the athletes within that team are part of that support structure to help them. And this is something we could talk about, I guess, in the future. But it's really interesting as you start to look at that strategy and you watch a race. It's not just watching people go around. It's
they're not all they're not all out for each other,
not out
for
for each
themselves.
other. They've got different jobs.
Yeah, there's a strategy.
It's a very strategic.
Like drafting in NASCAR.
Yeah.
You kind of draft in racing.
Yep. Well, I say, I tell a lot of people it's a combination of NASCAR and Formula One. Formula One in that they shut down the streets in a city, and that's where we race. And there's tight corners involved and a lot of handling skills. But like NASCAR in the sense that you have to really know how to use drafting to your advantage as a team to try and win the race. For example, we had a rider lap the field last year, and we had riders waiting back in the main field for that rider to lap. And when he finally connected, those other riders went to work to help bring that lapping rider up to the front.
I remember last year we had a rider that almost lapped, but he lost when he's out all alone or with a team with maybe 2 or 3 other riders. It seemed like he lost gas quick. Well, so he dropped way back.
That's where team tactic actually played a big role. When one rider, when the first few riders were able to lap the field, they knew that they did not want the other riders to also lap the field. So they had their teammates go straight to the front of the field, at the front of the race, and pick the speed up so high that the other riders could not finish lapping the field. That's one example of how a team exercises team tactics.
Yep. And I mean, when it comes to speed, even just the pace car alone, comparing NASCAR too, the pace car alone from Rick Roberti, when he does the 4.5, the pace car, it's going at a pretty good clip. But the difference between the 4.5 race and the 1.2 with that pace car, you can hear him around the corner.
Well, I can tell you that in the 1-2 race, we don't use our brakes for the corner, so I expect the car to do the same thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, that car flies. I can only imagine.
It's a super fun ride to be in that car too.
I have never been in the car.
Ooh, might have to change that this year.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to ride in the car. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So the kids' races are at 1:15 p.m. this year. They are free and open to all children from preschool all the way to the 8th grade.
Yep.
Right? It was age 3 to 14.
Yep. And it's super fun. And,
it's the cutest part.
I've got to tell you, I've had so many calls from parents wanting to find out exactly what time it was and where to register and just get all the details. And they're like, my daughter did it last year and she loved it and had so much fun. And we're so excited and they keep talking about it. And it's a great opportunity for the local youth and those that don't have the opportunity to race a bike or get in something like this to do something that's super fun. And this is, although it's a quote unquote race, it's not competitive. This is all about just participating.
Everybody gets a medal.
Everyone gets a medal. It's super fun. We're going to have an autograph session with some of the pros afterwards, and Erica Lawler, who is a silver medalist, I believe, from in ice hockey from Sochi Olympics, will be there also signing autographs. So it's going to be a lot of fun with a lot of kind of role model women that'll be there to kind of juice up the excitement.
Yep. Yeah, Erica Lawler is coming with George Gamache for the Olympic flag raising at our Art Longsjo Memorial. Yep. That's thanks to Mike Hurley putting that all together. He's been a big fan of the race going back many years. He has good accounts of keeping racers at his house, letting them stay over, whatever, when it was like a 6-day race. He has international ride, when big international riders would come to Fitchburg and look to stay cheap.
Yep.
Those are good stories to hear.
Well, and that goes back to the community involvement. And, I've seen this in other races. You get the pro athletes, they come in. To have them stay in somebody's house is great for them, but also amazing for the kids that are in that house. And I've talked to many, many people that host riders every single year, and the kids, it's like Christmas in the summer for them. They love it. They get these riders come in, they tell them stories, they show them their bikes, you know, and it's a great interaction. It just goes to show that these cyclists are great role models across the board and just great people to be a part of. So having them all come to Fitchburg, it's a great opportunity for Fitchburg to come out, support them, you know, learn a little bit about what they do and get involved.
And that's, you know, that's the great thing about the kids race when it comes to community and also building the future kind of cycling. You know, you get the kids out there and excited about their bikes. They're on the real course.
Right.
You know, the kids are on the closed course with everybody watching, and they get to race, and they get to cross the start-finish line.
Yep.
And the older kids get to do a full lap, and the oldest kids get to do 2 full laps.
Right, which is a challenge. That's a lot.
That's tough.
That's a lot.
Oh,
and you'll
yeah.
see big wheels out there. You'll see Strider bikes with no pedals. You'll see it all, which is what it's all about. It's like bring whatever you've got.
Little banana seats.
Yep.
Yeah, any bike,
Yep.
bike is fine as long as the kids have a helmet.
I was going to say.
And if you do not have a helmet, come anyway, because we have extra helmets to give away. And so does the Fitchburg Police Department as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Yep, so the kids race start at 1:15, and that's right after the women's pro race, which is at 11:45.
Right.
So that's a good one to see.
So we go actually women's pro race, then the flag raising, and then the kids race, and then the men's pro. So that afternoon from 11 on is going to be the time you want to be there. If you've got just a couple hours, pick it from 11 to 2, 11 to 3. That's going to be exciting.
And we'll be singing the national anthem before the women's pro?
Before right after before the men's pro, I believe it is.
Is it?
Not sure. I have to look at that schedule. But it will be good.
Regardless, that'll be sung by Monica McNamara this year.
Yep, local Monica.
Who's been a previous singer of the national anthem.
Yep.
At the Longsjo. That's always a good one.
It'll be exciting. Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Yep. Okay, so we talked about the racing. Now let's talk about the food. So we got some food vendors and some beer vendors.
We do. Boulder will be open, of course. They're on the Upper Common.
The Boulder.
And they're
a great
serving,
spot.
they're
Right
serving,
on the course.
Yep, some Wachusett brewing, so that'll be great.
And I think they're going to have a Longsjo lager this year.
They have not confirmed with me exactly what it is, but I think you may well be correct. And they've got bleachers out front, and it's right up there in the middle of everything, which is great. And then River Styx is going to be open, and they will have the Traveling Bones food truck, and there will be one other food truck whose name we don't know yet. So that'll be an exciting thing to see which.
So River Styx is opening. What time's River Styx opening?
They're going to open at 11. The food truck is coming at 1, I believe. They will have a band there also, which will be fun. And then this activation from this Fitchburg kind of streetscape thing will be going on down there also.
Yeah, we have Team Better Block.
Exactly.
That is doing like a pop-up kind of placemaking event or thing right on the street with the library, Newton Place.
Yep.
And that'll kind of opens up into the River Styx.
Right.
So that'll be a nice little connection.
Right,
that'll be fun. We also have Activate Mill Street.
Activate
which is
Mill
not
Street,
on the
which
course,
is not on the
but
course,
it's happening.
but it's down by Strong Style Coffee, and that is starting that week prior. And it'll be going throughout the entire week, so that's another exciting thing. You know, with these bike races, when I'm the race director, but my favorite thing is to walk the course and just walk around the entire course, even a couple times, because you see different things, the different corners, the different things that are going on, the people that have like this little pop-up party of their own on a street corner. It's super fun to see. Again, in the Upper Common, we're going to have an expo area that'll have Doughboys Pizza when talking about food, so they'll be up there.
Doughboys, yum.
I believe we've got coffee coming in the early morning.
The Coffee Cabin.
Coffee Cabin
will be coming. The Jackson FE Coffee Cabin. They'll be up on the side of the street right near the Boulder Cafe.
Yep. And then Finicky.
The Finicky Fork is creating a special menu just for the Longsjo. We love the Finicky Fork. And the Finicky Fork will be setting up right near the start-finish line, right on Academy Street, right next to Workers Credit Union and the post office.
Yep.
So she's coming up with a special menu just for us.
We also have face tattoos. And you know what? I have them in my car, and I meant to bring them
tattoos.
in with the Longsjo logo.
We're really going all out.
You know, it's like I brought them down to give to you, and they're in my car.
Cool.
But so we've got the face tattoos.
We're gonna get, and so that'll be in the kids area.
That'll be in the kids area in the expo, and you can put them on. Yeah, it's so fun because the kids wear them, the adults wear them, everybody wears them. It's a big support. Maybe get some riders to wear them. That would be key.
I'll race with it.
I want to put one right away too. Like football player, like right here.
We also have Camillo, this local artist, is going to be. He's creating this silhouette of the Longsjo, the Art Longsjo kind of logo of art.
Love it already.
And there's an opportunity to take these mini silhouettes and color them right there in the expo, and then he will take all of those and build them into this big presentation. So like super cool.
Like an art mural thing.
Like an art mural thing, but you can,
Participation.
Totally, but it's just going to be super fun. Those with the artists can do all this cool stuff, but those that just want to scrawl something can do that. It'll be really neat, and when it all comes together, it'll be true community support. That's awesome. I also have an entire case of street chalk.
Street chalk.
Street chalk. So we're still working on how we can get in there, but it's always fun. If you ever watch the Tour de France, they've got all those street murals, street notes to certain riders or whatever, which is super fun. Scrawl on the street, and then everyone rides over it. So lots of fun.
Well, we're closing the streets at like 7 a.m. right?
Closing the streets early. There'll be a few opportunities to get people out there between
7 a.m. and 8 a.m.
would be a key time.
If you want to show up and do some street murals, you'll have an hour and a half.
Yep.
Because the races, the category 4 and 5 amateur races for the men start at 8:30 a.m.
Yep.
And they go for 40 minutes?
Roughly 40 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the amateur women. And then it's just race
until 4 o'clock, awards, and then we're done. But yeah, it's going to be a great day. And like I said, it's about the community. As you said, the bike race is super strong. People love it. It's got that history. But we're looking for a community to come out and support the event, be part of it, go eat some food, drink some beer, scroll on the street, whatever you want to do.
It's amazing how many riders have the Longsjo on their bucket list. I've spoken to a lot of riders over the 5 years that I've been on the Longsjo, and the riders say, oh yeah, this is on the bucket list.
The history of the event is amazing.
It's the second longest bike race in the country. New Jersey's got the first one, right?
The Tour of Somerville is the oldest bike race. And I believe this is the second oldest.
There is a history of the race that'll come out in this coming Sunday's Sentinel. There's an insert in there, Longsjo insert in the middle of it, and it has a full page on the history, which is a fascinating read. And then the Historical Society will be open, and they've got an amazing.
But there's so many things. The Historical Society Ivor Johnson Bike Show.
Yep.
If you enjoy old bikes and just the history of cycling, you've got to go to the Historical Society and see the Ivor Johnson Bike Show. It's awesome.
And just the craftsmanship is amazing of those bicycles.
Even and just how different they are from today's bikes.
Yeah, totally. Compared to that, it's a whole different story.
Can you lift this thing with your pinky?
Probably.
Yeah, they're so light.
Yeah.
The older ones are way different.
Yeah, well, the technology has just
Is it like titanium and carbon fiber?
There's on this bike is a lot of carbon, but there's titanium, there's aluminum, there's probably even a few traces of steel here or there. But yeah, this is all carbon. The wheels are carbon. The seat post is carbon. The seat itself is carbon. The handlebars are carbon. These little levers are carbon. The only titanium is really in the bolts, I guess. Yeah.
So the whole thing's carbon fiber because that's the lightest. That's the lightest and strongest.
Exactly. It's
material that you can get going.
Yes, it's light. It's resilient. You can easily shape it to designs that are very responsive when you need them to be, very aerodynamic. So you can really use that product to create the type of bike that you want. We've got these beautiful Montecchi bikes. Montecchis.
Is that Italian?
Actually, it's named after a town in the Dominican, I believe. Cool. And this is the ButcherBox team likes to partner with fairly local vendors and sponsors. So this company is based out of the New York City area.
They manufacture these in New York City area?
No, they don't. Well, no, the manufacturer is based there. I think he has an operation overseas that does that actually makes it.
Yep.
But he's he designs the bikes. He's an integral part of building the bike, and we have a very close working relationship with Montechi. But overall, they're very fast. Comfortable and fast.
I would expect so.
Yes.
And it's interesting, you look at the technology of bicycles and how they've changed over the years, and even looking way back, which is different. But this, I think some of the key things you notice here is the shifting is in the brake levers. So you never have to take your hands off of the handlebars to adjust your gear.
On my bike, there's like this little thing,
or it used to be on the down tube. They used to be all over the place. But that's, I think, part safety and part just because it's necessary to be in complete control. And then if you look at the pedals, they're not necessarily what you would expect on a recreational bike, but you
get the fancy clip-in
your
things.
shoe clips in so that your feet never slide out. The rider can get out quickly if they need to, but other than that, you're locked into that bike, which helps you get maximum power when you're sprinting and riding. So it's really amazing the technology that is in the top bikes now.
Yeah, I'm very amateur, but I have a street bike, but I don't have the clippy shoe yet. I feel like I would fall over and kill myself.
But that's what.
You know what? But that's how you learn. You get involved in the sport, and you go on some rides, and you meet more experienced people, and they show you the ropes. And that's the beauty of this sport is, from the most beginner person to the professionals, everybody can ride together. I mean,
it's like riding a bike. That's what there's a saying.
Well, I mean, I can't, for example, I probably can't go out and easily find a Major League Baseball player and just say, hey, let's go play, let's
throw the ball.
Throw the ball around. But I could show up on a Sunday when, at a local group ride, and a rider who did the Tour de France a couple years ago could be there. So you can really learn so easily, and people are willing to teach you in this sport, and that's what's great about it. It's all part of the community sense.
That was going to be my segue. So how do amateur riders get started? Say you're watching the race and you're like, I am so inspired. I want to start riding. How do you get involved?
The best way to do it is take your bike, make sure you bring your helmet, and ask your local bike shop. What kind of rides? Are there group rides where I can meet other people and begin to learn the ropes? And you start showing up to those, and it usually takes off from there. People get hooked, and many people stick with it for life.
There's also what they call no drop rides. So you can no drop, and that means that they're not going to drop anybody out of the pack. So they're going to go
that would be good for me.
As fast as the slowest person. But again, it's one of those things you can do as a family. You can go out and just ride, and it's not about the workout. It's about spending time together. You'll see a lot of those guys in the group rides. They're chatting. They're stopping for coffee. They're riding a little more. They're going to stop at a farmer's market and get some fruit. They'll ride some more. It's about that outside experience on a beautiful day like today. It's a perfect day to go out and ride. And even if you have a non-racing bike, you've got a 1-speed or a 3-speed, it could be your pink bike with the streamers off the handlebars. That is absolutely fine because that's also a transportation piece. So maybe your work is, a couple hundred yards or half a mile from your house. Ride your bike. Why not, and leave a little extra time, and you can ride slow and not break a big sweat. And hey, you've saved some fossil fuel, you've gotten a little exercise, and you've had the wind in your hair on your way to work. What could be better?
Now you get that adrenaline pumping.
Yeah.
Now you're going to get that hook.
Yep.
What I tell people is come talk to us. You see us at a race. It doesn't. Any level of rider, professional to amateur, come out, talk to us, have a conversation, ask us questions. And we'll help you get started.
Because remember, they all started just like you.
Yeah. And we have Tom 10 Bike Shop in Leominster.
Yep.
I know that they do. I don't know if they organize group rides, but they certainly have a bulletin board with all kinds of information. And also Worcester. There's a bike shop in Worcester that I see group ride advertised all the time on Facebook anyway.
And there's clubs. There's all sorts of clubs around.
The Minuteman Road Club.
Minuteman, yep, they're based in the Metro West area. I think in Worcester, is Seven
Taylor?
I'm not sure who it is in Worcester.
Well, Major Taylor is actually a nationwide club. They are big. I mean, they're big in cities all around, and I'm sure they're based in Worcester. I'm sure they have a branch in Worcester.
They certainly do.
I would hope so, because that is Major Taylor's home base.
Yep.
Yeah, I think in Worcester there was the Seven Hills Wheelman.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I believe
I've heard of
that was around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great way to get involved for sure.
And it's a great way to stay in shape.
Well, and just and to be outside. You could ride that stationary bike at your health club, or you could ride a real bike outside.
That sounds like a lot more fun.
Definitely, definitely. Actually.
Okay, so we're going to take a short break, and we're going to watch a little promo, with a little more information on our upcoming Longsjo Classic, and then we're going to learn about the festivals by the river at Riverfront Park by the Fitchburg Parks and Recreation Department, and then we'll be back.
Verdant and green, it's a classic New England city in the heart of Massachusetts. We're in the city of Fitchburg, first settled in 1730. A population of over 40,000 calls this area home. Resplendent with lovely scenery and Victorian architecture, it's a good place to call home. But in early summer, for nearly 6 decades, top international cycling royalty have also come here to Fitchburg in hopes of a perfect moment. For the annual Art Longsjo Memorial Race. It is the nation's second oldest bicycle race. It will require a stout heart and a keen and instinctive mind. Who will prevail? Who will go on the attack? The answers are coming as we bring you the Art Longsjo Cycling Classic from Fitchburg, Massachusetts.
Hi, Sam Squalia here with Beth Robbins from the Fitchburg Parks and Recreation Department. Yes. How you doing?
Good. How's it going?
Awesome. We are talking about festivals by the river at Riverfront Park.
Yes, we are.
So let's tell us about it. We're going to have 3 awesome festivals.
3 awesome festivals, the first series of its kind in Fitchburg. They are all to raise funds for a permanent stage for Riverfront Park.
I've seen the pictures with the dome.
With the dome, and yep, so we can have more performances down there and all that kind of thing. So we have the first one, July 13th, Folk Fest.
Folk Fest.
Yep, you wear your, it's a celebration of culture. So we have Celtic music, we have African drumming, we have Zydeco music.
Zydeco.
Zydeco, it's like New Orleans with the washboard and this kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
And then we have some Native
Steel
American
drum,
flute.
kinda?
Yes, yep.
Oh, cool.
Yep, so that's Folk Fest.
So what do we dress?
You dress in, if you have any cultural garb, if you want to reflect your cultural pride by wearing your colors or some kind of native garb that you want to wear, you can get in free. Otherwise, it's $10, which is a pretty good deal too, and $15 at the door.
15 at the door. So tickets for all 3 festivals are $10 each, or $15 at the gate.
At the gate, or you can get all 3 for $25 if you want to.
And where can we buy those?
You can buy them at the municipal offices. You can buy them at Strong Style Coffee, Eddie's Music. We have them at the YMCA Youth Center and the Fitchburg Recreation Department.
Awesome. All kinds of options. Okay, so the first show is July 13th, Folk Fest.
Yes.
And that's at Riverfront Park, and that's from 5 to 9 p.m. All of the Folk Fests are from 5 to 9 p.m.
5 to 9, yep.
And what day is July 13th? Saturdays.
This is Saturday.
Are these all
Saturdays? Yep, all Saturdays. Then we have Steampunk, which is a really cool thing, Taste of Steampunk.
Steampunk.
And so you can dress in your garb for that too, tell all your friends. It's something we have never had here in Fitchburg before, so.
I was looking for costumes for that. I got like a corset looking thing. And like this dress with like a capey looking bottom thing.
Wear it on up.
I plan on getting in for free.
Absolutely. That's going to be an awesome one. And then we have the Fiesta Latina, which is going to be a celebration of Latina culture.
And that one's in September.
That's on September 14th.
Oh, that'll be the good one.
That's going to be huge. We have so many. Well, it's just really a chance.
I mean, they all sound pretty good, but that one will be.
That's going to be fun. There's going to be dancing. There's going to be all kinds of music. We might have a mariachi band in that one. And we have so much diversity in culture that the festivals really hope to showcase that to the regional draw that we're going to have to bring to the festivals.
And these are all from 5 to 9 p.m.
5 to 9 p.m.
Fiesta Latina, that's September 14th.
14th, yep.
14th.
Yep.
And what else are we going to have at the festival besides just music?
So we're going to have Beers for Good.
Beers for Good.
They're going to be there at all 3 festivals. We're gonna
craft beer garden.
Craft beer garden, yep. And we have some vendors. And we're also going to have stilt walkers and
stilt walkers.
Stilt walkers, yep. And we're going to have some dancing and for the Steampunk Fest, we're going to have a crazy show where some guy puts a nail in his nose or does some kind of steampunky thing that's...
What kind of music do we have at Steampunk?
So Steampunk, it's going to be Walter Sickett and the Armory of Broken Toys. So they're straight up steam crunk. It's like a mix of industrial and like fantasy kind of.
I'm picturing like teapots, like.
Well, maybe not teapots, Sam. But yeah, you got to say the right idea, I guess.
Gears turning. I don't know.
No, it's nothing like that. It's kind of dark and fantasy, and they wear really cool costumes, and it's an experience.
Cool.
You'll love it.
And that one's August 24th.
August 24th.
August 24th. And so these are all at Riverfront Park in Fitchburg.
This
year, you can buy your tickets at all the locations that Beth said.
All the places, yep. The YMCA, the municipal offices down Boulder Drive.
Strong Style Coffee.
Strong Style Coffee, Eddie's, and Fitchburg Recreation Department. Yes.
This sounds like fun. Where can we find more information if we have more questions?
Well, there is a visioning board, Festivals by the River visioning board. So if anybody's interested in learning more about the festivals, becoming involved, we need vendors still, we need volunteers. So please check that out on Facebook. The events can be found there as well. Or they can email me at brobbins@fitchburgma.gov. to find out more information.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Beth, from the Fitchburg Parks and Recreation Department.
Thank you, Sam.
We're very excited for Riverfront Park, Festivals by the River. Woohoo. Hope to see you there.
Hope to see you there.
Hi, welcome back. We are talking about the Longsjo Classic, the 58th annual Longsjo Classic that's happening in Fitchburg on Sunday, July 7th. Hey guys, so what were we talking about?
I think you were moving into the expo and kind of the other non-bike racing elements.
The other non-bike racing things. So one thing, the kids area with the obstacle course.
Yep.
We're going to have kids tattoos. And there's also going to be the Fidelity Bank Frosty Flyer ice cream truck that's coming right after the kids race to give free ice creams for kids.
There's also hay rides coming too from 11 to 1.
And a hayride. How's the hayrides going to work?
So it's I believe it's tractor pulled, so it may not be actual horses, but it's just a fun event to get on the wagon with a bunch of hay bales and
where does it go?
Ride around. It's going to go around the Upper Common. We're still plotting that route exactly, but it's going to be right up there, so you won't miss it, guaranteed.
From 11 a.m. to 1
11
p.m.
to 1,
and it'll start at the kids area. Now the kids area is going to be at the parking lot of the Rollstone Street Church there, which is the Casa de Gracia y Restauración.
Yep.
Right. So they're lending their parking lot to us, and we're going to be able to have a nice fenced-in, safe kids area, which is going to be right on the same side of the Boulder Cafe.
Yes, it will be. But there will also be kids' activities on the Upper Common. So it's one of those, you don't just want to stay in one spot. You want to walk around and check it all out. And there's lots of safe crossing zones and people that'll help you get across the street. So while the race is going, you will be able to move. Just listen to the course marshals.
Yep. You'll be able to walk and ride your bike, but not drive.
But not drive right there, but you can drive to the area, and there's plenty of on-street
there's parking all around the course.
Yep.
And there's even the parking garage right at Pritchard Street and Main Street.
Yep.
That'll be accessible. The Putnam Street garage will not be accessible.
No, that's inside the course.
That's right inside the course. That's right around that corner.
Right.
There's that good corner where it goes
that's
up
a great
the hill and then it turns
and that
real
goes back
sharp
to
left.
that goes back to walking around the course, because there's other corners to see, there's other things to see, and there's the different strategies of the teams and the riders as they're covering the different parts of the course. This is
Can we pull this picture up on the main screen? This is a picture of the Team Better block the public space kind of placemaking activation that's happening right. You can see River Styx is right beyond there, and we're looking from the library towards River Styx.
Yeah, it should be great fun. And the first iteration of what these guys do will be Mill Street earlier in the week. So right now, the only thing we've seen are these drawings, and it looks funky and cool, and you know,
it looks fun.
It's kind of like, all right, I gotta see this in real life to see what it's going to be. We're also going to have a tent down there in that parking lot because it does.
There's going to be music.
There's going to be music, but it does get quite hot, so there will be lots of shade, and definitely a reason, as I said, when you're walking the course, definitely check this out because it's going to be super cool.
So you're going to be able to go hang out at River Styx, listen to music, drink beer,
and it'll be
food
on the screens in River Styx, so you'll be able to watch the race there also.
Yeah, because FATV does the best race
job.
Broadcasting and production. It's an amazing professional production that FATV puts on of the race, which is watched worldwide.
Yep.
It's live streamed and it's watched worldwide.
And we'll have it on a big screen also in the Upper Common, the Jumbotron.
The Jumbotron will be in the Upper Common, which is the coolest thing ever because you're there, you're on the bleachers, you watch the racers go by, and then they disappear, but you can still see them on the Jumbotron.
Right.
And
right.
FATV, and you got the announcement, how many laps to go. The coolest.
And the announcers will, be talking about the strategy and what's going on within the race and help you understand what you're looking at. So it's not just a bunch of people whizzing around, but there's actually stuff going on, which is super cool.
Yeah, but it's pales in comparison to being there.
Definitely. Well, the nice thing is, as you said, you can watch it live and on the screen at the same time. So when they go out of view, you look at the screen. When they come into view, you look at them live. Yeah, and like I said, the colors and the noise when they go by, the whoosh, and the wind that they generate is really amazing.
Oh yeah, if you've ever sat in an inside corner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Super cool.
I get down behind the hay bales and I get my camera, and then everyone goes by and I'm like, oh no.
We're gonna get right up to the fence. We use every inch of road available.
Like an inch away from that hay bale.
Yep. No, it's good stuff. So
sometimes closer.
It's and like I said, our whole goal this year is community involvement, and what can we do, and how do we make this event bigger than a bike race, but a true community event. So we're really counting on the local people to come out and support it.
Yep. So let's see, what else do we got going? The men's pro race starts at 2 p.m.
Yep.
And that'll be the final race.
Final race.
The final race. And at 2 p.m. it's a 50-mile race. So how long does that go?
That should be right around an hour, maybe a couple minutes
2
longer.
hours?
2 hours.
2 hours, excuse me.
2 hours. I mean,
Sorry.
if we do that in an hour.
Like 1 hour, you're doing pretty good.
Right around 2 hours. But it'll be exciting, and there's going to be a lot going on, and we have not only your team, but some other great riders coming. We still haven't seen the full roster yet, but it's going to be exciting. There's going to be some big names here that'll be impressive to watch.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, the dynamic of the race is at 50 miles. It changes the dynamic of what happens in a race. Most of our races are not that long. That's one of the things that makes this really special.
How long are the races usually?
At the shortest, an hour. Sometimes 75 or 90 minutes. 90 minutes is usually the longest we see, which is 40 miles maybe. So that extra 10 miles, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it really
changes how you train for it.
It changes everything, yeah. I mean, we end up racing it more like we would race a long road race, like what you see in the Tour de France, where they go for hours at a time. So it's a whole new tactic that we employ. You have to pay attention to hydration and
especially when it's hot.
Yep, and you got to bring food with you and eat it in the race. Yep.
Like a bar.
Whatever you like, but it's got
a
bar. It could be really anything, but you got to have something.
Not like The Office where you're carbo loading. A fettuccine alfredo.
Yeah, you're not eating that. Nothing with utensils.
No, I don't think any fettuccine alfredo in the race would be good, but it would be entertaining. So.
I think you're right. You talk about that extra 10 miles. You'll see people that are riding super strong, and they're just going to fade. They're going to run out of gas, so to speak, and it's like, whoops, did not quite strategically ride that race.
Last year, there was a really good example of that, or a couple. where
Yeah.
you just saw they were winning, they were ahead, and they just lost it.
Yep, and you know,
They didn't. I think one racer ended up not finishing when he was lapped. He lapped. He was ahead. I don't know, a couple laps and didn't finish.
It's amazing. You
can burn yourself out.
To ride at the speeds these guys ride is not easy. And for the duration that they ride is not easy.
And there must be a historical component to the 2-hour, 50-mile race, because I've been in a lot of meetings where people are saying, oh, so maybe we should cut down this men's race to 90 minutes, and it's like no, that's not the Longsjo Classic. That's not what this is.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but the Longsjo has such a rich history. Art Longsjo, and there's just everyone involved, and the race itself, and the community, and the whole area. I mean, Mount Wachusett, where they used to race up years ago, is pretty close to here, and the Longsjo Classic was known for being a very, very tough race. It's one of the things that made it famous. So, the 50 miles definitely reflects that history.
Yeah.
Ted, how will your team train for this race, specifically compared to some of the other races, knowing that it's a little longer? What are you doing now, a week out, 2 weeks out, a month out, to prepare?
Sure. So right now, we've had a pretty heavy race season thus far. So a lot of the guys have taken some rest because they know that this week specifically is a heavy week of racing. We have 3 races in a single week. So they've been kind of resting, but going out and just doing long rides.
Like 50 miles?
No, like 80, 90, sometimes 100 miles.
100 miles.
Yeah, that's not out of the question.
Go for a ride.
That's not out of the question at all. And then they'll pick up the intensity pretty soon, doing a lot of interval training in the lead up to the race.
And so those couple of days right before the race, they're going to back off?
Yes, yeah.
Eat the pasta that you talked about?
Yeah, we're going to back off, eat some fettuccine Alfredo. But yeah, they'll back off a little bit and rest so that on the race day they feel real fresh. They'll do some recovery techniques from all the hard training, whether it be a massage or just very light, easy spins around their town, keeping it. You'll reduce the 100-mile rides to maybe 15-mile rides, and then we'll come out and
dominate,
smash it on a 50-mile race. Yeah.
And then hit the food trucks and the beer stations.
That's actually the best part. That's the best part of criterium racing, is when the race ends, the event is not over. The race is our favorite component of the event, but when it ends, then we get out of our bike jerseys, throw on a t-shirt, and go hang out with everybody who showed up to watch us, and we drink a few beers, we have dinner, we just have a good time with all the other racers who were in the race.
That sounds like fun. Yeah. That's my favorite part too.
It's a family. I mean, it's like you race together every weekend. You line up with the same people,
exactly,
or a lot of the same people. So it is super fun. You're total competitors when you're on the course, but then you can go have beer together and hang out.
Yeah, I mean, with my team, we travel the country doing these types of races, and wherever we go, we see the same riders going from location to location. And so it's really like a little family reunion every few weekends. It's great.
So here's one question on the mechanics of the race and the strategy. When preems are announced, how does that change what riders do and who goes for them, and what happens there?
So with a preem, you need to, first of all, before they even call the preem out, you have to be in a position to expect one. Because you can't be sitting at the back of the race, have them call a preem, and within a lap go right to the front and try to compete for it. You have to be in a position that enables you to go after it to begin with.
Now let's just talk about what a preem is quickly.
Yes.
Can you describe what a preem is?
Sure. A preem is when it's like a race within the race. They might offer $100 to the winner of the next lap, and you can get all of the preems within a race and collect all those prizes, but then you might not have anything left in the tank for the finish.
You
So-
want to burst yourself out, and you're not going to win.
So you have to gauge what your goals are for the race, and if you can go after that preem and then still hang in the race. It's very difficult. We had on my team a couple years ago, we had a rider beat an Olympic track cyclist to a preem, and this rider had won every preem that day until we finally unseated him.
Haha!
Yes, that was Marlo Rodman from Jamaica.
Oh yeah, he won. What did he win? He won Leominster or Worcester a few years ago.
I'm not sure, but I'm sure he did. He's really incredible.
Oh, yeah, he was a beast.
That's exciting. I mean, again,
Steven Ramirez was able to beat him though. So
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for the preem for
he
your
was.
team.
Steven from Ramirez from Boston was able to outsprint him that day.
Aha!
Yes.
That makes you feel good.
so there's other opportunities to win. You don't necessarily win the
Yep.
race, but you can win little pieces of it.
Yep.
So super exciting.
So a lot of times there are things like crowd preems to keep the action exciting. Somebody will pool money from the crowd, and
I've been the crowd preem girl.
and we'll race. We'll go
It'll
as
be
hard as we
it'll be
can for that.
$200. Bam.
Yeah.
Some people throw in a 20 or a 5. You know, you get a bunch of ones, but some people are very generous with preems, especially in Fitchburg.
We'll go after those. That's for sure. So feel free to
And, you know,
donate.
like last year it was like, I don't even know how much money it is, but a full crowd preem, full stuffed in a water bottle, unknown amount of money preem.
Mystery preems.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if they'll do one, but are you planning a gambler preem? Do you know?
Not determined yet.
So a gambler preem, something that a lot of races like this do, is when they offer a big preem at 2 laps to go. So you could try to win that preem, but then you are going to have
You're gambling your spot.
So the reason it's a gamble.
Gambler's preem.
The reason it's a gamble is if you get it, if you win it, that's great. I mean, you're not going to do well in the finish, but at least you won that preem. If somebody beats you to it, you just wasted a lot of energy for nothing, and now you have the finish of the race to deal with 1 lap later. So.
Strategy.
Yeah, you're always thinking in these things.
Can we pull this picture up on the screen here? Jared. This is Curtis White. I think this was in Worcester. He's going to be racing this year, I heard.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
He's racing all 3 events.
Emma White's brother.
Emma White's brother, apparently.
Yep.
Yep, he comes from, I believe, upstate New York. Very talented on the dirt and the road. Formerly of the rally
What do you call that?
team.
Gravel?
Gravel. Well, I'm sure he's great at gravel, but cyclocross is really his wheelhouse. Very, very talented.
We've had the cyclocross championships in Fitchburg. Around Alan Atwood runs them.
Yep.
Coolidge Park in November.
I know Alan.
Yeah.
Yep. So, well, you know, it's funny. Massachusetts, New England as a whole, but Massachusetts especially, is world famous for cyclocross.
Really?
Yes. It's pretty much Belgium and New England where cyclocross is really like a mecca. I mean,
Was Jeremy
weather.
Powers the cyclocross champion a couple years ago?
he was.
Yeah.
Yes, Jeremy.
He's right from East Hampton. Or that area.
We have a few riders from there who have been national champions actually.
Massachusetts were the best.
Well, we have that Belgium type weather. It can be rainy, it can be snowy, it can be kind of what we'd call miserable, but in New England, of course, we love that. And it's great to go watch a race in that.
Some of us love that. Stephen Hyde from, I'm sure I'm going to get the town wrong. I want to say East Hampton, but I'm not sure.
Was a champion?
I think if he's not the current champion, I think he was last year. I'm pretty sure he was last year, and he might still be this year. But he's local too.
Yeah. So Massachusetts is the best. Fitchburg
is the best.
Massachusetts is the best. I'm totally biased, but also Fitchburg is my favorite. Again, totally biased. The 58th annual Longsjo Classic, happening Sunday, July 7th in Fitchburg, right all around the Upper Common. It's the same race route as the past few years.
Yep.
So you got to make sure to attend. Anything else we have in the last 30 seconds that we got to add?
I think we've talked about it. We're really hoping for a lot of community support coming out there and just enjoying a great day in Fitchburg.
Yeah, come on out and support your race, your historical race, right in Fitchburg, and support the riders and cheer them on.
Absolutely.
Who doesn't love to be cheered on as they're racing, right?
We love it.
Yeah.
It keeps us going.
Does it? Does it really?
Oh yeah,
With the cowbell?
We feed off the crowd. We feed off the crowd, big time.
It's amazing. And what other sport can you get access to, front row access to, professional riders, professional athletes, for no charge?
Right.
Right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
All right, so we'll see you there. Thank you so much for watching Discussing Fitchburg Now. We'll see you later.